Hey, I'm Jason Harrell.
And I'm Justin Boyd.
And let's freaking do this.
Got some music here. Welcome to episode number 6 of Let's Friggin' Do This. My name is Justin Boyd, and I'm once again thrilled to be joined by my good friend, Jason Harrell. Jason, how you doing?
Doing good. I am living the dream, living the life. We had some sun a little bit ago, which I oddly felt like weird because it was cloudy and rainy almost all day today. But I don't know. It's nice. We had some cooler weather last night. I got to get out and do a run without feeling like I was gonna fall over dead after a few minutes.
It's good to hear. It's good to hear. Jason, we have somebody joining us. Would you like to introduce our special guest this week?
Yeah, we got Chris Cunningham from Forney, Texas.
Hello.
How's it going, Chris?
Going well. Thanks for having me on, guys. I appreciate the invite. Thank you.
Yeah. So, go ahead, Justin.
No, we're going to talk a lot about music, but I'm going to start out with the serious stuff. I was checking out your Twitter bio, and I saw something that kind of drew my interest. It says you're a Croc collector. My question is, are we talking about Crocs, the shoes, or are we talking about the reptile?
Yeah. You ain't crocking, you ain't rocking, man.
So my follow-up, of course, would be, Croc collector. How large is your Croc collection? Do you have any specialty like Crocs that you wear? Custom-made Crocs? Yeah.
So I have a lot of Crocs. I really don't know how many pairs I have. I have more than average people. I probably say I got probably 13 pairs of them. And the ones I like all the time, they actually have like a shoe, like a grip on the bottom instead of them slick ones. Because I've hit the paint in parking lots, like walking into Walmart, and so I don't like the slick ones anymore. But I like the ones with the grips on them because, like, if you're on a boat ramp or something, you step on the algae and you stay vertical, which is nice. And you get up to my size and you start thinking about falling. You're like, yeah, that don't sound like a good idea today.
Do you wear the Crocs that like cover your feet, or like the ones that are more like flip flops?
Yeah, no, that they're covered and they have smaller holes. I like the one with the smaller holes. Wear the one with the bigger holes in them, and I get like, it looks like cheetah print, like when the sun burns my feet through the holes.
Oh yeah.
I got little cheetah print feet.
I got this weird like phobia of being anywhere without my feet covered. It's like,
well, I mean, I'm sure people have weirder ones than that. So
it's like this fear that somebody's gonna like scuff my toenails and like bend my toenails.
Oh, pull them back. Yeah. That's completely rational. Honestly, I think everybody thinks about that to a certain degree anyway.
I gotta keep my toenails covered.
Yep. So I definitely love my Crocs. If I'm not wearing Crocs, I'm wearing Nikes. I can't stand boots. Hate boots. I was about
to ask you, do you go to your shows in your Crocs and then get on?
Yeah, absolutely. No, I wear the Crocs, period. It's Crocs or Nikes.
I am not a Crocs collector. Justin at one time was a Air Jordan collector. I don't know if he's still...
Yeah, not in the shoe game anymore. It's expensive. Expensive thing to do, and I don't.
Yeah,
you had a lot of them though. How many pair of Jordans did you have?
I still have all of them. I mean, they're somewhere, but I don't know, maybe 70 pair or more.
Oh yeah, no, I don't. My thing is if I have too many at once, I'll wear them all out. Like I can't just leave some of them alone. I'll just wear them until they die. Yeah. And so I try and keep it limited.
Yeah, I got you. I just thought it was interesting that you collect crocs. That sounded good. I was like, if it's the reptile, then we've got to lead off with that for sure. But if it's
Absolutely not. No, no, no. Because eventually they'd get over about 3.5 foot long, and I'd be like, I don't think I can wrestle you no more. So you guys to go.
My a related story to that. We found a caiman. You know what a caiman is? It's like a
Yeah.
Alligator or whatever.
Yeah.
Not alligator, but when I was a kid, I lived in Cisco, Texas. Me and Justin come from Cisco, Texas. Nowhere near any place that there are actually native caiman or anything like that,
or anything really,
or anything. But there was a caiman just like wandering around in our backyard, and we got it and put it in the bathtub, and I'll still remember like the noises that it made, like you see them on nature.
Yeah.
That whole squeaky thing where it's like calling for its mom. I mean, it's like probably that big.
Yeah.
But I remember we called like the animal control or whatever, and they ended up getting in touch with somebody from Fort Worth, and they put them in the zoo.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So don't wander into your backyard. You get trapped in the zoo. Got it.
They try to tell us it had to have been somebody's pet. Somebody. Like at the time. Back then. This is like over 30 years ago. They would go. People would go to Louisiana and get them when they were small, like because I guess they thought they would be good pets or something.
Oh, look, a lizard.
Right, and bring them back, and then they started getting too big. And like, fuck this, I'm gonna kick this shit out of the house.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you've always hear about people flushing them when they're still small and things like, which is weird stuff. People are weird, man. People are weird.
So in a way, I was a croc collector also.
That's awesome.
One limited edition.
Yeah. Definitely limited edition. Keep it at that.
So Greg Johnson is joining us on the show. So hello, Greg. Good to have you on the show. I saw you were tweeting about us the other day. So you did it. You made the show. So we appreciate it.
Thank you for sharing. I saw that. Thank you.
And he remembered to come on the show. You're part of history now, Greg.
Yeah, exactly. So Chris, you've got speaking of shows, you've got a show actually tonight, and you've got a pretty big show coming up this weekend, right?
I don't remember what's this weekend.
Yeah, really big.
I really don't. They keep the schedule away from me. They just tell me where to go, and I go there.
I think you're doing Deep Ellum.
Oh yeah. Friday is Deep Ellum. That's going to be a big ass show. There's going to be me and Michael Summers from 30 Miles East, and Seth Jones is going to be there, and Dakota Ritter's going to be there. There's going to be countless other musicians. There's a guy named Matt Insland. He's super, super talented guy. He's going to be up there. I think there's going to be like 7 or 8 of us that are just going to kind of be swapping all night. So it's my booking manager, Sydney, with Rusty Spurs Management. She's this last year, she's taken over a lot of my schedule, and I'm just absolutely grateful for her. She's done a lot of booking for me and Seth and Dakota and Michael. And so we're just, this is her birthday thing. And so we're just all getting together and gonna go have a good time out there. And it's going to be an absolute shit show. It's going to be wonderful.
A wonderful shit show.
Yeah.
That sounds
that'll be a really, really cool show to see. So if anybody's in Dallas and wants to come out to that, absolutely come on out and have a good time. Any of the musicians, if there's still time, you can hop up, play a song you want to, whatever. It doesn't matter. We're just going to go have a good time and make it a fun night.
Now, Jason, I know he mentioned several people that I think you're pretty familiar with because of y'all's Twitter connections. You want to talk about that?
Yeah, we're in the Twitterverse right now. Yeah, Seth. When you said Seth's name like that, so Seth's going to come on the show. I think in late September. And then, but I think maybe before that, we'll have another, like a special episode that he's going to join us for as well.
Seth is probably one of the most interesting people you could ever talk to, because, there's a lot of people you can call him a know-it-all, but Seth truly knows what he's talking about with almost just about everything. He really does. It's wild. Like he's so he is in the medical field as a profession, and I mean, it's like anytime I have like a little weird thing going on, I call Seth. He's like, "Well, it's probably this, but you should go to a doctor." I'm not a doctor, and I'm like, "Well, yeah, but you're my fucking health advisor, so just answer the question." But no, and he's a super talented writer. I enjoy reading the way Seth writes. I like when he sends me his lyrics because I'm just like, I don't know how somebody's word association can be that great, but it is. And then Zach Welch also grew up here in Forney, and so I know both of those guys pretty well, um, and then Dakota Ritter. So if you're not familiar with Dakota, in 20, I think it was 29. Well, no, it was 20. It might have been 21. He had a song called "The Bottle" that went to #1 on the Texas music charts, and I've been writing a lot with him for his upcoming album. I wrote on 6 of the 8 songs on that album, and we're really, really excited for that to come out because that's going to be there's some killer songs on there. Matter of fact, he asked me to start writing a bonus track song for the album, and I wrote that song, and I called him and I was like, "Hey, man, I wrote a bonus track song, but you can't have it because it's really good, and I want to keep it." And he's like, "Oh, okay." So we worked on another one, and he's got another one in the works that's going to be really good as a bonus track. But
is this the one that you were saying when I first asked you to come on the show? You said you weren't sure if you were going to you might be in the studio. Was this?
Yes, that was for that. So we've got it. We still have to go back in and do the final vocal take, and then I'm going to go back behind him and do some harmony work and stuff like that. But as far as like the rest of the layout, we had some really cool people involved with that. Mr. Milo Deering came in and played all the utility instruments. If you don't know who Milo Deering is, it's wildly unbelievable because he's played with Trisha Yearwood and Willie Nelson and just anybody you could ever think of. He's an amazing studio musician. We had Casey, I can't remember his last name, is Chris Colston's drummer. He came in and played the drum tracks for that album. And we're working with Chad Malden. And so he's turned out a lot of really good records for a lot of people. He's worked with Brandon Ryder and Chris Colston and along with other people. I think he's even done some work with Co in the past. And it's just it's a blessing to be surrounded by the community of music that I am, because I'm in a very, very good spot to really be able to let my music shine at some point.
Yeah, you do a whole lot of co-write.
I do. A lot of people reach out to me about writing, and that means a lot to me because I really would. I'm a performer, yes, but I'm a very strong writer. I'm a very strong writer.
So how did you get started doing that? Like, how did you start? Like, who was your first co-write?
First co-write. Honestly, I think on a serious scale, it's probably Zach Welch.
Okay.
And so he has a song called "Too Drunk to Try," and that was a song that me and him wrote together. I sent him a lot of lyrics. I said, "This isn't something I can perform. Here it is. This is chord structure." Matter of fact, I don't even remember if I gave him the chord structure. I just sent him a chunk of lyrics and was like, "Here," and then he wrote the rest of it, and it ended up being a really great song. It's still one of his most popular songs on Spotify.
Yeah, it's a great song. I love that song. He did that on his. He did that with featuring Parker Ryan, right?
Right. Yeah. They did that song together. They recorded it together, and if you click that little details button over there, my name's on that list somewhere.
You know what's funny about that is so I used to be on Spotify, and then I switched over to Tidal because I was lured over to Tidal because of the artist payout. I thought it sounded great. They're paying the artists far more. It was like exponentially more.
Yeah.
But, the catch is nobody uses it.
Right.
and their app sucks. Like,
Yep.
it's
Well,
really bad. So I
that
can't.
sounds about right. Somebody finally does something for the musicians, and then we still get fucked.
Yeah.
That's the way it
know
goes.
Like when you share links to songs, you tend to probably go to whatever app you're using to listen to it, and you share from there usually, right? And then
So yeah, I did do that for a long time, but the distribution company I use is DistroKid. I really like DistroKid because I have a page called a hyperfollow page, and what I can do is I can put like the links to all of the different music, all the streaming platforms. So I've got my Apple Music link and the Spotify link on there. And so all they have to do is scan a QR code and go to it and pick whatever the hell. And and it's really streamlined a lot of things.
Well, currently I'm like in between, I guess you'd call it. I'm using YouTube Music because that's just what I paid for the YouTube subscription a long time ago, and I never canceled it. But you can't get the details like that. You can't see credits for songs and things like that. They don't show you that stuff.
Spotify is the biggest double-edged sword for musicians. It's such a great way to be found, and it's such a shit way to get paid. Like, I mean, it's 0.0004 cents per stream. Like, huh? Like, I hadn't looked at my numbers lately, but Something Real was my first release, and Meeting You was my other. And I think Something Real is sitting somewhere around like 15,000 streams or something. And Meeting You's at like 9,000 on Spotify. Between that and like the very minimal actual sales numbers from Apple, I think I've made somewhere in the neighborhood of about $128 since last September. So if you're not playing shows, you're definitely not making any money waiting on streams.
No, but people still kind of measure their own success by how many streams they get on Spotify too, and I think it's
definitely relevant.
And unfortunately, it's like it's a fair. I think it's probably a fair measurement because so many people use it. It's just like if you don't get the streams on Spotify, you're probably not getting them anywhere else either.
Right? No, it's just a necessary evil. That's just all there is to it. If you can get in the right groove with Spotify, you can really do something good to where your money will come from other places because of it, but it won't come from it.
Do you have venues that have like checked your streams or anything to see like?
I do. There's been a couple of times where there's been she'll be sending off stuff to book shows, and they'll listen to everybody's music, and I'll be one of the first ones selected. Or there's been other times where they've said no, his music's too slow, but they didn't listen to, or didn't have anything else to listen to. But I mean, when shit costs $2,000 a song to get it on the internet, it's just like by the time you record and everything, and then put the money into it to get it up and all that, it's so expensive. Like, these people are wild that release music all the time. I have mad respect for them for that, because that's a heavy financial burden, and don't ever let anybody tell you it's not.
Yeah. Yeah, I've been thinking about that pretty seriously.
Yeah.
I've got a lot of songs, and I don't know what the hell I'm gonna do. But I probably won't be sinking $2,000 per song anytime soon. So I will I'll go one of two routes, right? I'll go very, very slowly and find somebody that I can, work with, that will work with me with what money I can afford.
Right.
Or I'll just fucking do it on my own. And they won't sound like they came out of a studio, but I'll get my songs out there one way or the other. And, my mom and her friends will listen to them. So
love me, mama, love me.
Hey, Chris, we got a question here from Greg in the chat. He was wondering, how do you feel about the wealth of talent coming out of East Texas at this time?
Dude, I'm fucking proud of it. How can you not be? Like, it's you go somewhere and you say that you're from East Texas, And I'm kind of right on that line. I'm right in the Central Texas, East Texas line because I'm just right outside of Dallas, and nobody considers Dallas East Texas.
Right.
And so it's weird because most of my shows they are out east. I've started to spread to where I'm doing a lot more stuff in Fort Worth and then out of state up in Oklahoma and that kind of thing. We've got some tours that we're working on for 2023 as far as going to the East Coast and things like that. But I'm super proud of everybody over there, man. There's so many talented musicians. Like, I mean, you think about Whiskey Myers.
Yeah.
Wow. Like, how do you out East Texas that? Well, I'll tell you how. You Shane Smith and the Saints. It's and yeah, everybody's like, oh, they were born in Austin. Well, yeah, but Shane's from Kaufman. So his bass player is from Rockwall, which is right here by me. And
Whiskey Myers is from Palestine, right?
Do what?
Whiskey Myers is from Palestine.
Yeah, right? Yeah, they're Palestine. Then you've got Coe from Pittsburgh.
Mm-hmm.
It's such a long list that will just give you chills of the amount of talent in East Texas. And there's so many more that hadn't been discovered, or so many that are just fighting their just natural talent, and not doing this. Like, it's wild how many people there are. I'll run into people that I've never heard before, and I've seen them posting for years. They don't really get a lot of attention or traction, and then I go and listen to them, like, shit, they're great.
Yeah,
it's like, what? It's just, this kind of goes back into what we were talking to before the podcast with the saturation level. It's so hard for a lot of these guys to break in unless they really have that something special. Just because there's so many people that all have something special. So it's
there's a whole bunch of people that don't have something special too, and they're
they're driving the price of venues down, and they need to fucking quit.
Right, and there's no gatekeeper anymore because, like I was just mentioning, I can sit down as soon as we get done here. I can hang up from this and hit record on my computer, bang into my guitar, and sing some shit that I wrote last night.
Right.
Upload it, and by tomorrow afternoon, it's going to be on the internet, and everybody can either hear it or never listen to it, but it's out there.
Exactly.
It's one of the millions of songs that'll be uploaded just tomorrow.
Right.
It's just
it's crazy. It's absolutely crazy.
There's got to be some kind of like some kind of balance where there's some kind of gatekeeping of some sort. Like where.
Well, it really comes down to the people that are picking the talent at the venues. A lot of these venues, they have what I call the $150 syndrome. They want to have the best of the best come and sit in there and pay for a tab on top of getting paid enough to pay for fuel and get home.
Yep.
And that's just not how this works. It's just, it can't work like that. And the problem is because of saturation, there's too many people that are willing to pay for those prices instead of just saying, hey, you want to be a music venue, you got to cater to the musicians to some extent. Like, I mean, I don't want to come in there. If I can't drink for free there, that's fine. I'm not bothered by that. But, give me some kind of tab. Whether it's just for food or a cheeseburger, whatever. But a lot of places, they want all the talent, they want all the people there, but they don't want to pay for any of it. And it's like, you wouldn't ask them to do the same. You wouldn't ask them to come cater a wedding and just, give them $50 and be like, here you go. This should cover your baloney.
Yep. It's a tough scene. It's a tough, the whole thing is tough because they want, like you said, they want the talent. They don't want to pay for it, and since they can't afford the talent that they want, they'll get whoever will come in and do it for free. And
then they expect everybody to do it for free.
Right. And so then you have to make a decision. Am I going to take, or if not free, then, as close to it as they can get.
Right.
Am I going to decide that I'm going to go play this gig because it's a gig to play and take less money, or am I just going to fucking sit home? And I tend to just sit home.
Yeah, well, sometimes it's cheaper, but on the other foot, I will say that there are quite a number of venues that I interact with that are very much about the musicians, and I feel very welcome every time I'm there. I don't ever feel out of place or like I'm some kind of hindrance to them.
Yeah.
There's plenty of bars you go into as a musician, and it's just like you're in the way.
Yeah.
And so, what else you got?
Well, so we talk about playing shows. When was your, if you can remember, when was your first show? When was the first time you got on stage and played for somebody? And what was that feeling kind of like, if you can remember?
Well, see, a little secret about me. I fried the better part of my brain over the last 20 years. And I remember I was 15. First time I played in a bar. I think it was in Malakoff, Texas, at a bar called Coal Miners.
Okay.
And Jesus, that place was ratchet. I don't know how it stayed open as long as it did. But that night, I felt like I was on top of the world. I knew that was something I had a knack for. My dad had always been a singer, always sang in front of people and all that. And so it was a pretty natural thing to be a people person. And so it was an easy thing for me to get into. A lot of people have this shyness or bashfulness, and I don't have that. I don't meet strangers or anything like that. Like I include everybody in my show too. Like if I'm singing and I'm in the middle of a song and you drop your phone, I'll stop playing and be like, "Hey, bro, you dropped your phone." And like everybody in the whole bar heard it hit wood floor. But I'm just making sure that they know that I'm here and I'm paying attention to you. I'm not a jukebox. I'm a human. There's a tip jar.
Yeah, hopefully they had a case on it too, because you don't want to break your phone. But.
Right.
Hey, not my problem. Not my phone.
Exactly.
I got the OtterBox. I'm good to go.
So even that first, like you've just been comfortable playing on stage since you're 15, basically.
Yeah.
Okay. So now it's like you said, you have a show in an hour or so, an hour and a half from now, and you're just gonna go play your songs and you don't worry about it at all. You're so used to doing it.
No, I don't really think about it much.
This is a residency, you said, right?
Yeah. It was every Wednesday, and we just switched over to every Tuesday, and which is nice. Do what?
How long you been at this one?
Oh, 2 years, I guess.
Yeah, like every week there for 2 years.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. I mean, obviously some weeks no, but yes.
Sure. But that's like home then. I mean, you just kind of stroll in.
It's the home bar. Walk in and know everybody. Cheers, kind of shit.
Yeah.
But like I've got several home bars, man. I do this so much. It's hard to just have one.
Yeah.
Each town kind of has a home bar just because I've played all of them. So it's like here it's the Ice House, and then you go down the road and go into Mineola, and it's a place called the Line. Just you go into Dallas and Deep Ellum Brewery. That's my jam over there, dude. I have a great time with those people there. If you're ever just in Dallas, just piddle farting around, you definitely need to go to Deep Ellum Brewery. The whole place is always a vibe, whether people are playing music or not.
Yeah.
Yeah, I enjoy it very much over there. Also, like 8 Airs, I need to get something going over at 8 Airs again. Get over there and play soon. But they have the best cheeseburger in Dallas, so that's why I like that place.
There you go.
I mean, who the fuck gets mad about cheeseburger?
How many nights a week you're out?
4 and 5.
Like every week, weekend.
Yeah.
Week, 4 or 5.
Yeah, I mean, there's obviously same thing. There's some weeks where it's just the weekend, or the residency, and then Friday, Saturday.
Right.
There's other weeks where it's now can be pretty much Tuesday through Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
So it's those weeks always stress me out before I get to them, and it's not because of the people; it's really because of the travel. And I'm like, how am I going to live through this entire weekend?
Right.
So I call those water weekends because I don't really drink alcohol on those weekends when it's so busy like that. But man,
are you there and back? Like you head out to your show, you come back and go. Are you going places where you got to stay out?
Well, it depends. Like this last weekend, I had a show up in Hochatown, Oklahoma, and from my house, that's 3 hours.
Mm-hmm.
And so I drove up there 3 hours. I played for 3 hours, and I drove home 3 hours.
Yeah.
And then played the next night in Greenville. So I was like,
yeah.
I slept all day Monday. Like I was in bed and like I'd open one eye and look at my phone and just respond and just go back to sleep.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, if I get any further than about 3 hours, I'm definitely fucking staying. Like, and most of the time I wouldn't even go 3 hours and come home. But cabins up there are too high, and I was like, you know what? It was a really good night, and I'm gonna burn through all this money if I stay up here because there's casinos.
That's
got to be part of that's got to be every time you can take that into consideration because you got to pay to stay. I mean,
dude, every time. I mean, and sometimes you look out, especially places like that. There's always people that show up and they have cabins and things. I almost ended up with a cabin. I had some friends that actually came up to that show and they offered for me to be able to stay in their cabin with them, but they were all out partying and having a good time, and I was really craving a bed more than a good time. So
yeah,
I was like, I'm not going to go sleep in their cabin by myself until they get back at 2 a.m. hammered ass. You know, I'm not doing that. But
yeah, you pretty much everybody we've had on this podcast are the true definition of a working musician. You're out all the time. Like I never did that as a kid. Or certainly don't do it now, but I never did that where I'm constantly on the road. Like I told you before the podcast, like I rarely left Austin. So
right.
I was a weekend warrior and I still pretty much am, but
well, it's somewhere along the way you learned how to play a fiddle, and that's a pretty big accomplishment because I've got one sitting in there by my recliner right now.
Oh, yeah?
And that some bitch is sitting in the case because I can't do nothing with it. Like
I got a bunch sitting in the case that I never touch. I only play a couple of them.
Yeah, I just can't do it. The guitar was enough, and I'll just stick to that. I can bang on a piano long enough to make it sound pretty eventually.
Yeah. See, I can't really do that. I can't really do the piano.
I have to play it by ear. Don't put notes in front of me. God, I don't do that.
My daughter's figuring out how to play the piano. My mother, she's got a piano at the house, and she actually wrote the notes on the keys with a marker.
Yeah.
And so she's learning how to play it by looking at the keys. And
if you don't ever discourage it, that's a cool thing to be able to do.
She picks it up quick. She also plays the flute. Like she picks it up quick. If she wants to stick with it, we'll see what happens. But
yeah, kids be changing their mind all the time.
That's true.
Well, Chris, would you like to play something for us?
Oh yeah, man. So I'm currently working on. I don't have my capo in here. That's not good. But I'll tell you about this for a second. So I'm. Hang on. Hey, is there a house elf available? Can I have my capo out of my guitar case, please? Capo.
Is it in your guitar case?
Yeah, it's in my guitar case on the back of the couch. So I'm working with Tyler Thompson right now. He has Kings Creek Productions. He's actually probably easier to identify him as Cody West's drummer. And I've been working with him lately, and we've been working on a song called Pray For Me. And Pray For Me is kind of I call it my COVID song. During COVID, being a full-time musician, I couldn't go play anywhere. There wasn't, everything was closed, shut down, not allowed to be open. Mm-hmm. And so I got a credit card statement, and I was like, there's just no way that I'm going to be able to pay for this, and I just need somebody to pray for me real hard. And I said that, and there was just something just clicked in my head, and I sat down. I wrote the song in less time than it takes me to play it. it just all fell in place, and it's so relatable for so many other people, because it's not just a musician's story. Everybody will get it, because everybody at some point in their life, or most everybody, has had some sort of financial hardship that they've came on, and didn't have any answers as to what to do about it. So this is that song for me. And you ready for it? This song will be dropping hopefully the end of this month, but I know he's been on tour a lot lately, so we'll just have to see when it really does drop. But this song's called "Pray for Me." They say time heals all wounds, but what about the ones it makes? So I'm only getting older, gotta weigh the risks I take. I'm so worried about being loud. I learned a lot along the long road. I held my breath for weeks, hoping good things come my way. It's nice having food to eat, but I keep making smallest payments on this past due credit card. I can't feel these tires, ain't gripping when I take these curves too sharp. And these strings are old and rusted, there ain't no gas in the car. If you have time and will, you wouldn't mind, pray for me real hard. These waters don't stop rising, they don't carry us away. You know our time is coming soon, it's just not today. And now nights are getting darker, no matter what I never sleep. The wolves are barking at the door, and I know they play for keeps. So I keep making smallest payments on this past due credit card. I can't feel these tires, ain't gripping when I take these curves too sharp. And these strings are old and rusted, there ain't no gas in the car. If you have time and will and wouldn't mind, pray for me real hard. So I keep making smallest payments on this fucking credit card. I can't feel these tires, ain't gripping when I take these curves too sharp. And these strings are old and rusted, there ain't no gas in that car. If you have a time and will and wouldn't mind, well, if you have a time and will, would you mind, pray for me real hard.
That was
pray
great.
for me. Thank you.
That was great.
It's the other version's a lot more rock. So like over the last couple of months, I've lost pretty much all the hearing in my left ear. I probably should have raised my right one instead of my left one, but so I can't really I can't hear what's going on. So if it was half-assed, then I'm sorry.
Sounded good to me.
Oh, well, thank you. Yeah, so that's go ahead.
No, I was going to ask you. I noticed, like, I was looking into your music, and I found a lot of your music on YouTube, but I didn't see as much on Spotify. Is there a reason for that, or?
Oh yeah, shit's expensive.
Yeah, that's the reason. Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. No, it's I would love to have a massive library of music out on Spotify, but I'm just working at it a piece at a time. I really anything that I put out on Spotify, like I don't really care what hits other platforms. Like, if I miss a note or something, I'll still post it to TikTok or YouTube or whatever. I'll just put it up because people are people, and it's just going to happen.
Right.
And you either like it or you don't. And I would rather cater to a crowd that likes words anyway. So, but yeah, as far as like Spotify or uploading music to all the platforms goes, I really like to make sure that I have top-notch quality. Like the more I listen to my first two releases, they're not my favorite songs that I've ever written. They're decent. They're well-written songs, but they weren't my sound. And what I've been working on with Tyler is I've really found my sound. I have it dialed in pretty well, and it's a lot more of a rock sound. It's somewhere between probably like a cross Canadian ragweed and a Giovanni and the Hired Guns. Like as far as like all the instrumentation and everything goes, it's different, but it's pretty sweet.
That's pretty rock. That's pretty far on the rock side of
well, country. I mean, we've got there's some dueling electric guitars in there. They're harmonizing and stuff.
Yeah?
It gets pretty wild. It's a lot more wild than what I just did. That's not.
But you're putting that one out.
Oh yeah. That's been the project that's been going right now. I was hoping to have that done by the end of July, but their tours have just really taken off, and he just doesn't have the time to finish it. And I get it. I mean, being a musician, sometimes you just have to wait on some things.
So are you putting that out as a single?
Yes. Yeah, I'm putting that out as a single, and then I'm going to be talking with some people about doing probably an acoustic album. Probably do like 4 or 5 songs on an acoustic album.
Okay.
And then after the acoustic album, that's when I'm dropping the next song. That's that song that I was telling you about earlier on Dakota Ritter's album, how I wrote the bonus track song. And I said he couldn't have it. That's going to be the next song that gets recorded, because that was just one of those songs. I started writing it. I was like, this is something. This is something. So
you said that you'll put this one out and then probably a 4 or 5 song acoustic thing. Is it going to be one of the like an acoustic thing? Like it's basically just you and a guitar? Or are you going to do like
I don't know. It depends on who I can probably rope into it. I'm probably going to be a little bit more in depth than that.
You need a fiddle or?
Yeah, no, definitely. It's
hint.
Yeah,
I know somebody.
I know this one guy who looks a lot like me who might be able to accommodate your fiddle needs. Yeah, no, definitely. I'm not opposed to anything. I mean, there's the songs that I'm going to do acoustic are songs that I don't really particularly in my head hear anything specific or would be something I would ever release as like a full band, like fully produced song. If I don't hear it, that song's not going to get recorded anyway, regardless of whether money's an issue or not.
So when you're writing these songs, I don't. You can tell me if it's always been this way, but when you're writing them, do you pretty much like pretty quickly, if you feel like it's going to be a band song, do you already kind of hear how it's going to go? Like,
yeah, it's just there. It's either there or it's not. But I mean, I've played acoustic for so many years. A lot of my songs, they're just kind of standalone acoustic songs. It's just you see it all the time with Tyler Childers. Somebody hears a acoustic song of his, they're like, "Oh man, that's amazing!" And then they listen to the produced version, they're like, "This is shit. I want the other one." It's like, and he like put like a whole lot of work into that, and it's just like gets shot down instantly. It's like, okay.
I mean, I think that's a lot of my experience as a music consumer is hearing people do it live in like an acoustic setting, or just do it live in general.
Right.
Hear how they put it out in a produced way, and most of the time that is kind of my perception, is like the production is just too polished on the studio version.
Yeah.
I walk away feeling like they've sucked all the energy out of it sometimes,
I know exactly what you mean, and that's also another reason that like if you listen to my first two songs, there's a couple of parts in there where there is some. They're not obviously flat, but they're a little off, and I left those there on purpose.
Yeah.
Because those are notes that I know I can confidently hit every single time I play those songs. So when you come and watch me live, I want you to leave and say he's better than his recording.
Yeah, I can appreciate that. I can also appreciate just not wanting to go back and correct everything to the point that it's just
Well, I mean, there's plenty of people that use a lot of auto tune and things like that. If I have to retake something 6 times in the studio, we're retaking it 6 fucking times. Like it's gonna be me doing it.
yeah.
I might not be able to do it again, but it was me doing it that time.
Yeah.
Do you think playing live and acoustic is kind of lends itself to being a singer-songwriter? Don't you think that it's kind of a nice pairing, whereas maybe in the studio you just don't get that same storyteller kind of feel that you do with just someone playing their guitar and saying, "Hey, here's my song, here's what it's about." Like
it's like the genealogy of this kind of music. Like it comes from somebody with an acoustic guitar, singing a song by themselves. That's
right. But see, and like even my cover songs, I have to play cover songs that I feel just as much as like my originals, because I can't stand when you walk in and see somebody play a song and they have absolutely zero emotion behind it. It doesn't matter if you don't miss a single note and you've got perfect pitch. If you don't have any emotion behind that song, you're not going to have anybody's attention. Like that's why I play the songs I play, because I want people to see that this is the way that I feel, and I can feel the song, and I want them to know it with everyone.
What's your go-to? Like give me a couple songs that you feel like you always got, like cover songs that you feel like you always got to put in your set.
Shake the Frost, Tyler Childers. I play Something to Talk About, Co Wetzel. That's another one I enjoy playing.
Oh yeah, okay.
That I like starting shows off with that, because it gets people just really pumped up, and it kind of gets it in their mind, like where I'm at with music. Like don't come up here and ask me for whoever the fuck's in Nashville right now, because I don't know any of their songs.
Yeah.
But like, you want to talk about some Texas shit, let's do it. So play that kind of stuff. And then there's some other things, like there's a mashup I do that I always make sure to put into my sets. It's very strange. It's Ray Wiley Hubbard, Buffalo Springfield, and Stevie Ray Vaughan. Complete disaster, but it's my disaster, and I love it.
It's your disaster.
Yeah.
Is there kind of a psychology behind coming up with a set list? Like, you have a show coming up very soon, we mentioned a couple times. Like, do you kind of know what you're going to play, or is it you just kind of get there and it's by feel, or do you have a game plan of like, I know I'm going to play this first, I know I'm going to hit them with this in the middle, I'm going to close with this, I'm going to sprinkle in a cover? Yeah,
I'm pretty different when it comes to that. So like a lot of people, they have their set list, they take their piece of paper and they set it down in front of them, and this is the gospel, this is the way it's going to go.
Right.
And I don't do that. I get up there and I'll play, say, let's say we're just starting the show off, and I start with Something to Talk About. People start clapping. So I'm going to go further down that harder Texas sound. So now we're going to go to like Pecos and the Rooftops. And, if they like that, then okay, well, if you like those, then here's boom, this original. And then the next song, I'll try and go a completely different direction and see how receptive they are to that. Now, say nobody claps when I play Eric Clapton, Wonderful Tonight. Okay. Now I play that and nobody pays attention to it. All right, well, let's throw them back a little further and see. Let's play a George Strait song real quick and see if anybody, reacts to that. And then if I don't get any reactions, then I know to get back on my track with the Texas, the harder Texas music and stuff. And like even into Oklahoma, like the Zach Bryans and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And then I just kind of mix my originals in where they fall with those songs, just so it's an even flow. Yes, there's a psychology behind it.
Okay.
But I feel like
that's cool. Yeah.
One of the things I feel like, you having been a working musician for so long and playing so many shows. Like, how many shows would you guess that you played? Like, if you a
Not
lot.
doing it. Not doing it.
But you've
The
got
IRS might watch this someday. I'm not doing it.
5 shows over there.
Right.
I've only played 3 shows in my life. I learned how to play guitar last week.
But you've got. I feel like it's pretty safe to say you must have like such a deep, like, I don't know, like reservoir of songs to pull from at whatever kind of.
It's really a curse. I ran out of room. My memory's full. Storage is full. I need another memory card and slide in there because it's like I'll be sitting up there and I'll play and I'll run out of songs. I'll stark ass run out of songs that I can think of, and then somebody will walk up and, oh, do you know any Wade Bowen? I'm like, shit, I always forget to put that on my playlist. Yeah, I know some Wade Bowen. It's like, oh, you know any Bart Crowley? Yeah, I know Bart Crowley. Don't, it's not on my list, but it's there.
Yeah.
So I just kind of refer to my phone every once in a while. I'm like, they wouldn't like that. They wouldn't like that. Oh, look, Hurricane, Band of Heathens. Let's go that way.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. Are you good with lyrics? You don't have to cheat.
No, if I'm winging a song, sometimes I'll have to cheat, but for the most part, they're all there.
Yeah. I was just talking to Derek McClendon about this the other day. He was, it was a Twitter conversation, but he said something about having to, or maybe it was on our show. Well, at some point,
he talked about it on the show.
That's right. It was here. He was talking about having to use his phone, and he did. I saw him this past weekend, and what is it? Abbott. I guess it's the. I think the website says that the venue is in West Texas, but the actual address is Abbott. I don't know. It's like the same place. But anyway, I saw him, and he had his little tablet up there for his songs, and he was kind of like being hard on himself for having to do that. I'm like, dude, everybody.
Yeah, it a lot of it kind of bothers me. I get it. So like I can't do the tablet on the mic stand thing. Now I do have a phone holder. That I'll put my phone up there, but I'm not looking at lyrics. All I'm looking at is my set list to see what I'm gonna play next. If somebody asks me something that I know I can wing well enough, I might look the lyrics up for that song. But most of the time, the requests are I can accommodate pretty well. Or they'll come up and ask for a specific song, and I don't know that one, but I know something else from that same artist, or something like that.
Yeah,
and. But yeah, I got a lot of shit in my head.
Like sometimes you talk about winging it. Like I'm sure that there have been a time or two when you've had a request for a song that well enough that you're going to just try to pull it off for the first time on stage, right?
Scotty Doesn't Know.
Scotty Doesn't Know.
Yeah, from the movie Euro Trip. It's so I've got my immediate group of friends / fans. They call themselves the Cunningham fam.
That's cool.
So like they show up everywhere and they're always yelling random shit. My buddy Andrew is always yelling, "Take your shirt off!" Like that's just his line. And Brian, another guy in the group, he always says, "Hell yeah!" just like that every single time. And but yeah, they're a great group of people, and they come to all the shows and shit. But I don't remember where I was going with that. But
you were going to say the song that the Euro Trip song that you.
Oh yeah, so another buddy JB, he's like, "Oh, play Scotty Doesn't Know," and I was like, "Man, I hadn't heard that in years." But yeah, hey, he must be watching right now. He just texted me and said, "Take your shirt off." But yeah, it's. And he's another one that was Scotty Doesn't Know. So we're all about the same age. So like Euro Trip was like our movie. Like we loved that shit. It was just wild and there was titties. And so it was always a good quality friend movie. And but it's just a fun song, and it's by a band called Lustra, but Matt Damon is the front man in the movie. He's not really playing or singing, but that's who he was. and the girl from Smallville, like the old TV series back in the day, she's Fiona, the girl in the song.
Mm.
And it's just Scotty doesn't know that Fiona and me do it in my van every Sunday. She tells him she's in church, but she doesn't go. Still, she's on her knees, and Scotty doesn't know. Like, if you had never listened to that song, you should definitely listen to it. It's pretty damn hilarious. Don't listen to it with the kids around. But
is that movie, is that in any way connected to like Road Trip, that kind of stuff?
Yeah, I think it was meant to be a sequel.
That's what I was thinking.
I think it came after Road Trip.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it did. But Euro Trip was always the favorite. It was a cool movie.
I don't think I've seen it, honestly.
I've seen it. It's been a long time. Matt Damon's kind of like, he's like the front guy. It's like a kind of a punk band, sort of.
Yeah. So the actual band's name is called Lustra.
Okay.
Well, do you want to do Scotty Doesn't? No, I'm just kidding. Do you want to do it?
That's the other thing. Playing acoustic a lot of the time, I do lead guitar with my mouth. Like I would just be playing, and I'll just start doing lead guitar noises with my mouth, and whatever.
I got a song where I do the lead guitar part on my mouth, just because I don't do it sarcastically. I just started humming it before I ever figured out what the lead guitar part was going to be. But now when I play the song, I'll still do the
Sydney, my booking agent just texted me, and she said, "You really fucked up letting us know you can see these texts that we're sending you." That's not good.
But yeah, you want to play another song?
Yeah, man. So I'll play the newest song. Matter of fact, I'll probably play two if you don't mind.
Yeah, go for it.
You play as many as you want. We're just interrupting you, really.
Nah. So this song's called "Stuck on You," and it's definitely got one of those feels that's more like a Giovanni and the Hired Guns type feel.
And it's on your YouTube too. So
is it?
Yeah, you put it on YouTube last month. I checked it out. Yeah, a couple times. So.
You remember how I told you to fry my brain a little bit? Okay. You can take most back, but not everything. Say you love me, but you ain't looking for rain. Ever happened to us being a damn thing? It was all just lies. Second chance is a chance that I ain't gonna take. Ain't looking to add to my constant mistakes. No, baby, this time ain't the damn same. Look me in my eye. Can you not see I love you? Do you not care at all? I probably wasn't anything, just another drunk phone call. And I think you see forever way different than I do. You'll be past this by Sunday, and I'll be here just stuck on you. Are you sure we can't work this out, babe? Been through worse and it came out great. If you really want to throw your talent, I'm not standing in your way. It's gonna crush me as I watch you leave, knowing nothing's gonna be the same. I hope you find everything you're missing and driving away. You'll hear me say, can you not see I love you? Do you not care at all? Well, I probably wasn't anything, just another drunk phone call. And I think you see forever way different than I do. You'll be past this by Sunday, and I'll be here just stuck on you. Just stuck on you. Never gonna see I love you. You don't fucking care at all. And I know I wasn't anything, just another drunk phone call. And I hope you see forever way different than I do. You'll be past this by Sunday, and I'll be here screaming, fuck you. It's just stuck on you. That's stuck on you right there.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Thank you. I appreciate it very much.
That's
I
definitely
appreciate it.
That's definitely some rocking stuff. You know, it feels like my brother was way big into Texas country. Back, back in the mid and early 2000s, and that was like cross Canadian ragweed times, right?
Dude, yeah. Oh, I love me some ragweed, man.
And there was a lot of stuff that kind of had that sound back then, and I missed out on it. I was not paying attention at all. That kind of sound. But I don't know. That's what it feels like to me. That song right there. It feels like those kinds of songs.
And you're actually not the first person that said that it has that earlier feel.
Yeah.
Don't ever buy a nice guitar thinking it's going to stay in tune.
What year is that?
Guitar?
Yeah.
It's a 2008. Okay, that's good enough for the women I run around with. All right. So this other song is this is kind of a sleeper song, man. So I wrote this. A buddy of mine called me, and he was up in Colorado, and he said these crazy people are floating down the river like we do in Texas. And I was like, okay, well, what's so big deal about that? He's like, it's mountain runoff. This water's like 40 degrees. And I was like, oh, well, that's the whiskey keeping them warm and the weed keeping them still. And I was like, oh shit, that's a song. So I wrote this song, and I don't really play it a whole lot. And I don't really know why, because it's got one of my favorite verses I've ever written is in this song. And the second verse of this song, I really want you to listen to it because I'm very proud of it. Just the quality of the lyrics is just amazing to me. I was very surprised I pulled it out of my ass, honestly. But this song's called Hamster Wheel. Well, whiskey keeps me warm, and weed keeps me still, and pages in my mind are spinning like a hamster wheel. I keep going back in time, trying to change all my mistakes, but it never takes long before I realize I'm too late. I put the hammer down and do it one more time. Take my train to the end of the line. The lies I'm told, I'll run out of track anytime. I'll pass all the hearts and scars I've had along the way. I could have ever forget the way I made them all feel when I was gone. And now there's only one last step. That's called moving on. This is my favorite verse I've ever written. Well, the night the road gets long, and all the lines become blurred, and my back's against the wall as she's taking off her shirt. Well, I know that this ain't me, and you know I'm a better man, but you ain't a quarterback, weed and half a 12-pack in. I put the hammer down and do it one more time. Take my train to the end of the line. The lies I'm told will run out of track anytime. I'll pass all the hearts and scars I've had along the way. I could have ever forget the way I made them all feel when I was gone. And now there's only one last step, and that's called moving on. 'cause the whiskey keeps me warm and the whiskey keeps me still. And the pages in my mind are spinning like a hamster wheel. But that second verse, man, I just love that. At night the road gets long and all the lines become a blur. My back's against the wall as she's taking off her shirt. I blew my mind when I really did. Like, I got so excited. I was hopping around when I wrote that one, man. I was like, okay, that's a pretty good line.
That's a great line, yeah.
When you come up with these lines that you walk away with thinking like that's a great line.
Well, see, what's scary is like it's the reason I get so excited about it is because my writing style, everything I do is different. I don't do anything like anybody else. So what I do is I find a riff I like on the guitar and I'll sit there and I'll start playing it. And I'm like, okay, yeah. And then I basically just start freestyling. And a lot of my songs, massive chunks of them just came out in a freestyle and I had it recording. And then I just go back and write it down and do my best to remember it. But that was one of those lines. It just fell out. It was, at night the road gets long and all the lines become a blur. My back's against the wall as she's taking off her shirt. That's slick, dude. That's slick. Like, I'm not bragging. I'm just saying that's slick as shit. But some of my songs I really do that. I really feel like I'm super good with one-liners that are just like, whoa. Like, they just like really put some things into perspective.
I got to say, I don't think I've ever had a conversation with anybody who told me that was like their method. Like, it just.
Yeah. No,
like,
so many people sit there and they stare at their paper and they're like, okay, what do I do? I'm like,
yeah.
Can't do that.
So you don't even write it down until after you've already said it.
Yeah. No, it already exists before it gets written down. It's weird.
That's cool.
And then it shows too. Like, I'll just start randomly freestyling shit, and everybody's like, "Man, that was a really good song." I'm like, "Oh, thanks. I just made it up." And they're like, "Well, do you remember it?" I'm like, "No, it's gone."
Well, that's got to work. That's got to work in your favor. Like, if you forget the lyrics to a song, you just make up a new one while you're going.
Oh yeah, no, I patch the shit out of stuff all the time.
Yeah, no, I'll come up with like melodies or something, or a line will come across my head, and I won't write it down, but I'll sing it into my phone. I've done that a few times, but never for sure sitting around like actually trying to make it work while I'm spitting it out, like.
So I wrote another song. I got super jealous. Like Shane Smith and the Saints and Tanner Ushery, they both had songs on Yellowstone. And
oh wow.
So I was like, man, I sure would like to have one of my songs right there on that there fancy Yellowstone. And so I wrote a song, but the way that song came about, I didn't sit down and start writing. I was driving down the road, and I just started recording, no guitar, nothing. I was driving, and I heard something in my head, and I said, "Waiting at a station for a train that's not coming, living this life full of pain and despair." And I was like, "Yeah, it's something." And I just hit save, and I went home, and I started messing with it, and that's the very first line of the song, and I just tried to play off of the whole train station thing with Yellowstone and all that, and that's.
I think I've seen one episode of that show, by the way, so I couldn't. I definitely saw an episode, but I don't think I've seen more.
Well, in that show, in that show, when you fuck around, you find out at the train station.
They take them to the train station. They get rid of people.
Yeah, they just push them off the cliff.
Right.
Okay.
In an unincorporated area where nobody will ever find their bodies.
Yeah, my dad.
Which is based off of a real place, by the way.
My dad was trying to watch the show, and he at one point told me, he's like, I don't think I can watch this anymore. Like, it is like, it's just very
the reason
very popular. It's very popular.
The reason that show has my heart is because of what the producers have done to bring Texas music in front of so many people. There are so many badass musicians. Like, so there's a scene, I don't remember if it's the first season or the second season, but they walk into a bar and there's a band playing. And that band is Whiskey Myers. And like, that's, to me, I was like, this is my show. They're touching my shit here. So I definitely have mad props to them for that.
Yeah, I've seen people talk about like they like the show more for the music than the actual stories.
Yeah, I can get on board with that. That's fine.
But my dad's whole thing with the show is it was too stressful. Like too much.
Yeah, it's definitely high strung for sure.
Yeah. Too much bad shit happening, I think, for him.
You know, Chris, going back to Hamster Wheel, I've heard about maybe 10 of your songs just from doing a little bit of research and listening to YouTube and everything. And it seems like all of your songs really end in a strong way. Is that something that you really, it's almost like, to me, I equate, because sports guy kind of here, but like, it's like you want to walk off, like a walk-off home run or something. The way you end your songs, they definitely have a strong ending to where, and I like also how a lot of times you'll use the title of the song as the last few words of the song. I think it really, jogs people's memory, makes them go, hey, that's what that song's called. That's a cool kind of way to tie the bow and wrap it up. Do you think of, I mean, I asked you about psychology of the set list earlier, but is there a psychology to the way you write your songs is where you want to finish strong so that people go, that's a good one?
I don't necessarily think so. I think what happens is I'm a very story-oriented person, and it definitely translates into my writing. That when you go back to English in 9th grade, and what does every story have? A beginning, a middle, and an end.
Right.
And I have a real hard time writing like a okay, let's just use this as an example. So Co has a song out now called April Showers.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a very party song. And it's not that it doesn't have a point, but it's not a story. It's just a song.
Right.
And like I can't do it. I try so hard and I just can't do it. Like I'm such a storyteller. I have to tell a story.
Yeah. Well, and I think there's a thing that catches some of us songwriters, and that we're like big fans of the, like you mentioned earlier, like the one line, like the one, like the one that'll just grab you in a song.
Yeah.
I think I mean, I've found myself doing that too. Like if you come up with something that you think is really clever, it's like, oh shit, I did that.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, what's really cool is hearing it in other songs. So like one of the songs that I've been working on with Dakota, it's called Ballad of a Broken Woman, and that's actually going to be the first single that comes out off of that album. And Ballad of a Broken Woman is very much a story song. It's the story of a girl that finally realizes how messed up the situation was that she was in. And, the first line of the song says she doesn't know how she missed it. It was written there in red. She bought into every single lie, and it was one after the next. It's that kind of stuff. I love those hooks like that. So I kind of rearranged that, but Dakota 100% wrote that. I just made some arrangement changes on that line. But there's another line in that song. It says, I wrote this part. It says, she's got herself all done up with no plans on going home. Gonna go and watch some no-name band to hear some songs he'll never know. Like that to me was another one of those great lines. And then the following line says, lay down in a hotel bathtub, down some whiskey and some Coke, hop on that train so she can go insane and hold on to letting go. Like it's I love those solid, just like, like, you hear somebody, like sometimes even with me, just being a musician, you kind of listen to all kinds of music, but like I hear people like freestyle rapping sometimes, and I'm like, this guy's trash. And then other times I hear it, I'm like, ooh, right. Like, when you get into it like that, I just like to bring that over to my style of writing, like where you get these one-liners that's like, oh, he don't like her,
She's not his favorite person.
Somebody was a bitch here.
and he thinks it's her.
Yeah. Yeah, well, we have the "She Thinks It Was Him" song too, so it's but we've did a lot with that album, and I'm really excited to see where it goes. There's some other bangers on there that I can't really give away. There's another song on there that Dakota wrote. I didn't really have anything to do with that song, but I'm really excited to see what it does. It's called "Burning House," and that's a killer song, killer song. So there's gonna be a minimum of 4 bangers come off of that album. So I'm pretty excited about it. And then we're going to try and work everything out because it's looking like ours might be done around the same time. So we're trying to figure out drop dates and all that stuff. But
so when can we kind of expect that once again? Like
hopefully Pray For Me, this next single, hopefully Pray For Me will be done by the end of this month. But like I said, they're touring super hard right now. They just had a run up. Cody West went up, and I think they went into Colorado and Wyoming, I think, and then they came back down, and they were in Houston. I thought I was going to cross paths with them, but the place they were playing in Ho Chi Town the same night as me, they screwed up the dates, so it wasn't him. It was actually Braxton Keith that was playing at the Ho Chi Town Saloon that night. And but I was looking forward to seeing them because Cody West, dude, oh my God, so underrated. He is an amazing vocalist. His voice is phenomenal, and his writing is right behind it. And he's a very talented guy.
Well, Chris, would you like to play another song before we get out of here?
Oh yeah, man. You know what? I'll go ahead and play the song that I wrote for Yellowstone. It's called "Desire," and this definitely highlights how much of a storyteller I am. This is one of those get drunk in Mexico and shoot somebody songs. So
we've all been there. We've all been there.
Waiting at a station for a train that's not coming. Living this life full of pain and despair. Ain't much on small talk, and killing comes easy. Tell me I'm wrong, but I do not care. The first trigger I pulled out was just 6 years old. Daddy's old rifle, he taught me to hold. So know what you're shooting and know what's behind. The bullet is yours till it's finished its flight. The bullet is yours till it's finished its flight. And don't pull out that weapon unless you plan on shooting. Don't run from the flames once you've lit that fire. You can fight for no reason, fight for a name. Well, it's up to you, so what do you desire? Drunk at a bar down outside old Reynosa. Mexican asked for what money I had. So no way, compadre, you ain't getting nothing. He pulled out his pistol, I just stared and laughed. He pulled out that pistol, I just stared and laughed. You don't pull out that weapon unless you plan on shooting. Don't run from the flames once you've lit that fire. You can fight for no reason or fight for a name. Well, it's up to you, so what do you desire? He looked real confused about a gringo just grinning. He didn't take time to see my 45. I told him about all the lessons Dad taught me. I pulled back the hammer and took that man's life. I pulled back the hammer and took that man's life. You don't pull out that weapon unless you plan on shooting. Don't run from the flames once you've lit that fire. You can fight for no reason, fight for a name. Well, it's up to you, so what do you desire? Well, it's up to you, so what do you desire? And now I'm waiting at a station for a train that's not coming. Living this life full of pain and despair. Ain't much on small talk, killing comes easy. Tell me I'm wrong, but I do not care. You can tell me I'm wrong, but I do not care.
That was fucking good. That was really good.
Thank you. I appreciate it very much.
Yeah, we got to get this on Yellowstone season 6 or whatever's coming up next. We gotta get on there.
Five or six or
5 or
something like
6,
that,
yeah.
dude. I hope so. It'd be nice. It'd be nice. I'd
be
love for them to take a look at it. I'd like to get a call from what's his nuts?
Kevin Costner.
Yeah, that guy.
Kevin Costner. Yeah. Can you imagine that phone call?
No, I can't. No. Hey, this is Kevin Costner. We want to put your shit, and I'd be like shitting all over myself.
Like bullshit. This is not Kevin
Yeah.
Costner.
No, which one of you motherfuckers is this for real? Don't fuck with me.
Yeah.
No, I'm sure it'd be some fancy pants producer, but we'll just have to see when we get there.
Well, that's a really good song. Are you putting that? Are you like? What are your plans for that one?
So I think that might be one of them that's on the acoustic album, if not the title track of the acoustic album.
I think that would be a fucking great song as an acoustic track because
I think so too, man.
It's got that feeling like that. It's got. I mean, like you said, you're telling a story, and you wouldn't want to take away from what you're actually saying by putting on it.
I completely agree with that. I'm
not trying to influence you or anything, but
I'm not saying you should, but I'm definitely not saying you shouldn't.
Right.
Yeah.
It definitely sounds like a song you'd see in a movie or a show or something. Like it's just kind of made for that. I mean,
mission complete then, I guess.
Right.
It's hell yeah, I did something right for once.
The good, the bad, and the ugly.
No shit.
There you go.
Yeah.
Well, Chris, we really appreciate you joining us tonight. Playing,
absolutely, man.
Sharing some of your great songs. How can people find you, or if they're looking for your music, how can they find more information about you, your shows, your music?
So down here at the bottom of the screen right now, you got it scrolling right here.
Yep.
You can go to that hyperfollow.com/Chris Cunningham. That'll take you to a link that has all of my social media platforms. If you like listening to people talk shit, follow me on Twitter. If you like to be a little bit more reserved, follow me on Facebook. Got the Instagrams. I've got all of those things, all of the things. And my music platforms, I've got Spotify and Apple Music. But if you don't have Apple Music or Spotify, just go to whatever it is you look on and just search Chris Cunningham. And you can type in Long Damn Road, and that'll bring up my first 2 songs that are currently available. And outside of that, down on the bottom of that Hyperfollow page, if anybody's watching, there's a place you can leave tips. I am a full-time musician. I'm poor, so you are welcome to leave things there as well, not exceeding $600 because fuck the government. And also got to give a shout out to Rusty Spurs management, the Sydney. She does a lot for me. She keeps me booked on these shows, and thankful for her. So if anybody wants to see about doing any booking stuff, they're welcome to reach out to her at any time. Her email's also on the bottom of on that Hyperfollow page. You scroll all the way down to the bottom, and you'll see her email address, and you can copy and paste it. But yeah, man, I hope to see everybody soon and get out on the road and come to your town and hang out for a while. Have some drinks.
Yeah, I was going to ask you. I know you said they don't let you near your schedule, but
no, they don't.
Do you ever come down this way in the Austin area or?
Well, I need to if some certain people give me some venues that I can reach out to. I might mosey on down that way. I hadn't stayed in a Hilton on 5th Street in a while, so.
Oh Jesus, sounds expensive.
But it's so close, and all you have to do when you get trashed on 6 is just follow the shining red beacon home.
That's true.
It's like a North Star when in Austin for me.
We'll see if we can get you connected with some of those people.
Dude, absolutely, absolutely. I'd love to get into some of those places and make a week or a weekend out of it. However we can get it done.
Yeah.
Just get down there. I love it out that way. If I had it my way, I'd move there. So.
But in the meantime, if you're watching or listening to this, please check out Chris, hyperfollow.com/Chris Cunningham, and follow him on social media. He's on all the platforms. Go check him out. See what he's up to every day.
Yep.
And if you're watching or listening to this, you can also follow us on social media. We're on Instagram and Twitter. We're at LFDT Pod. Again, we're at LFDT Pod. And once again, if you're watching this now on YouTube, we really appreciate it. If you're listening to this sometime down the road, we really appreciate that also. But it would really help us if you could subscribe to our YouTube channel or subscribe to whatever podcast platform you're listening to, whether it be Spotify, Anchor. There's a variety of other ones that are smaller ones, but we appreciate, if we could get a follow on any of those, that'd be great. If you could rate and review the episode, that's even better, because those little clicks, they mean a lot. They really do. Like when you like stuff, it's one little keystroke. It really helps us though. So
if you like 30 seconds of what you watched, like it.
Right.
Yeah. If you watch longer than 15 seconds, go like this shit.
We would very appreciate it. And once again, Chris, it's great to have you on the show. Thanks for joining us. Hope you have a great show after this too. Yeah.
Yeah. No, as soon as I do this, I'm throwing my Crocs on and out the door I go.
You got to wear the Crocs.
Well, yeah, it's fucking raining, bro. Or fat kid water shoes. What do you think I'm gonna wear?
That's also, by the way. So how's the weather up there right now? I know Dallas has been hit pretty hard this week.
Wet. Okay. Yeah, it's so there were several highways shut down, and it was a complete disaster. But luckily, I didn't have to be on any of them, so we are fine.
No property damage for you guys?
No. Just the grass is growing again, which is kind of disheartening, but whatever.
Right. I mean, somebody's got to mow it.
Yeah.
Somebody.
Also, use off, because the mosquitoes are going to be crazy.
I don't even want to think about it. I'm such a mosquito magnet. It's going to be a disaster.
Yeah, I am too. They like me for whatever reason.
Mm-hmm.
But we hope you liked our show, and I hope you like Chris's music. Please check him out whenever you get a chance. Jason, do you have any parting words before we get off here?
I don't know. I really enjoyed having here. I enjoyed the fact that I got to hear some songs that I wasn't going to be able to hear yet because they're not out yet.
Right.
So
right.
I think that's pretty awesome. The songs were dope.
Yeah, dude. I can shoot you over the Dropbox file so you can hear what I really got going on. Pray for me. You're gonna be like, wow, that is not the same song I just heard.
Hell yeah! I get an exclusive. You hear that, Justin?
Thanks to the Let's Freaking Do This podcast. So
yeah,
that's right. That's right.
It's paying off. It's paying off. So
that's right.
Yeah. So Chris, thanks again for joining us.
Absolutely, man.
And Jason, thanks for also being here. How can people find you on social media, Jason?
All over the place, all the places. The Twitter. I don't actually. I was just thinking we're pretty inactive on Instagram. I should do better at getting pictures and promos up here, like I did twice, I think.
Yeah, bro. Go put on your swimsuit and get to taking some pictures and get that shit. Get them numbers up, bro.
Yeah, that's it. Activity is really what it's all about, right? So.
Yeah.
Yep.
I don't know. Yeah, that's it. Yep, everything.
All right. Do you have any shows coming up that you want to plug?
Definitely this Friday. This Friday is going to be a great one in Dallas if you're around the area. We're going to be at Deep Ellum Brewery till I think 9:00. I think we're playing 6 to 9. It'll probably start earlier. It'll probably run longer. Just because we've got so many talented musicians. If you're into local Texas guys and seeing people before they really take off, this will be a great place to see several of us that are on our way. So definitely make it out there if you can. Be on the, what is it, the 26th? Is that what Friday is? It
yep.
26th. Yeah.
26th.
Yep.
Friday the 26th, 6 to 9 at Deep Ellum Brewery in Dallas.
Sounds good.
Hell yeah.
So, absolutely.
If you're in the Dallas area, definitely support local music and check out Chris's band. Or just Chris, are you just playing by yourself? Just you?
Yeah, that's going to be a massive song swap. There's going to I think there's 8 or 9 artists that will be doing a massive song swap.
Awesome.
So got a big show on Friday. So check that out. Yep. So thanks again, Chris. We appreciate it. So for Chris, for Jason, this is Justin saying we'll see you next time. Thanks again for watching. We appreciate it.